What's up, everybody? Welcome or welcome back to my channel. So today we are talking about one of my favorite topics, tattoos. I love tattoos. I love the meaning of tattoos. I love funny tattoos. I love traditional tattoos and cultural tattoos. I love tattoos in general, on men, on women. Like, I just love tattoos, period. Now that I have like a good chunk of experience, I wanted to help answer any frequently asked questions, explain it for the people that have like super bad social anxiety like myself, and try to give you all some tips on how to make it the most easiest transaction you could have, what I do to plan on my tattoos and stuff like that. So that's what this video is about, and I will have chapters in the description explaining the part on prices, part on paying, the part on this, that, and the third. I'll have it all in the description below, so you can click on it and determine which section you want to hear from. So without further ado, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and let's get into how to get a tattoo. Let's start off with like some of the most basic questions, and then I'll get into what I do personally. The biggest question I always get, like the first one people always ask, is do tattoos hurt? And that is such a complex question, but my answer for that, and I'll always say it to the end of the days, is that it doesn't hurt. To me personally, tattoos don't hurt. They don't feel good, but I kind of like the feeling. They're not super painful. It just kind of feels like you're writing on yourself with like a needle. I know that sounds hurtful, but it really doesn't feel like anything to me. Like, a tattoo feels exactly how I would imagine a tattoo feels. There is no exact answer to that question. It really does depend on your pain tolerance. So for me, I guess I have a pretty big pain tolerance. The first tattoo I ever got was on my wrist. And I also got a finger tattoo, ended up fading off, whatever, but that didn't hurt. I've got one on my ankle, I've got two on my arm over here, I've got writing right here. I'll insert pictures of my tattoos. I got some right here, right here. Isn't she gorgeous? I just got her. Got one here, and yeah, I didn't cry at any of those. The probably one that I felt the most, like I said, it's not pain for me, but the one I felt the most was on my ankle. I felt that one like the entire time, and that was whatever. And another thing that goes with pain is like, how long do they take? For me, all of my tattoos are pretty small. Even the two flowers I have on my arm, those were two separate occasions, and none of my tattoos have ever went over like 30 to 40 minutes. Like, it's not like this big drawn out process. Obviously, the bigger you get, the bigger the tattoos, the more it's going to the longer it's going to take. She's like staring somebody down. Yeah, but tattoos, when you're getting them, it doesn't feel, to me it feels like 5 seconds. It's really not that long. Same thing with piercings and stuff like that. Piercings are like 3 seconds, you know. All the tattoos I got don't take long, and they did not hurt to me, but again, it depends on your pain tolerance of what you can and can't take. Now, the cost of tattoos, that's tea. Okay, so the cost of tattoos really depends on two things. I think the biggest thing it depends on is who you go to, and the second one is the size of the tattoo. This most recent tattoo that I've gotten, this one, I was trying for like 7 months, trying to find a good artist that I thought was like, I switched my design a couple times. One time I was getting a flower, one time like I switched it a lot. I was trying to find somebody I liked, because I really want to find like a tattoo home. Every single place every tattoo I've gotten has been from a different place, so I really want to find like a tattoo home that I could just go whenever I want one, be like, hey, da 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 da, and call it a day. And I think I finally found one, but that took me 7 months of looking for a tattoo place, and I've gotten thousands of different estimates on what this tattoo was going to cost. It ended up costing me only $100. I know that might be like, ooh, But the most I've ever paid for a tattoo was $200, and that was the second piece to my flowers. The girl that I ended up going with, she gave me a price range of $100 to $150. So I always ask for like an estimate whenever I'm requesting something, and she gave me an estimate between $100 and $150. They usually round it up just to be safe because they don't know how big the placement is. Like, I never go in to the store to show them like what I want because it's never like that detailed. Before that, I've gotten all the way up to $200. I've gotten $200 to $300. I've gotten absolutely crazy prices for like something so simple. So I think the biggest factor of the price is who you go to. You really just have to decide what you're willing to pay for and the convenience. For me, I really wanted it bad, but I was not going to pay over like $200 was like my max out because I really wanted it bad. The cheapest tattoo I got was my wrist one. I got my wrist, and then I got a cross on my finger that ended up fading. So those two together was $75. The first rose I got was $150. The second set of flowers I got was $200. My Here Comes a Thought was $125, I think, or $150. I think it was $125. This was $100, and then I got this one and then my ankle one at the same time, and I think that was $150. I'm pretty sure it was $150. So you really just have to find a person you think is going to do a good job and ask for an estimate, and then decide, is that too much, is it too little. A lot of shops do have a shop minimum, so it's like if I get a butterfly the size of a quarter on my cheek, like it still may cost $70 or whatever, you know. So be cautious of that. If you're gonna get a small tattoo the first time, I think I would get multiple, because shops do have shop minimums, and they're usually like between $50 and $100. All the shops I've been to have been $75 and $100, so be mindful of that. Healing process. So the healing process is really super simple to me. Usually they will wrap it in like saran wrap or whatever, plastic wrap, or they'll do the little sheet thing. This most recent time I got like a sheet, and kind of give you the instructions. Like if you don't have any tattoos, it'll like give you the whole spiel of how you wash it, clean it. Obviously you don't scrub it. You kind of pat it with like, I'll either use a cotton ball or a washcloth, but I'll never like scrub it. I'll just kind of like gently clean it off. And then they'll have like the type of soaps they would like recommend for you, moisturizers and stuff like that. But the process is pretty simple. All you do is clean it once or twice every day, and then usually like 3 or 4 days after the tattoo. So the wrap they have, you leave that on for 3 days, and then usually 3 or 4 days after you take it off the wrap, it starts peeling, which it just looks like a scab, like a peeling scab. That usually happens for about like maybe like a week or so max. It'll be peeling depending on how big it is. Like I said, I don't have any like super big tattoos, so about a week or so of peeling, maybe 2 depending on how big it is. And then after that, it'll kind of be cool. It takes probably about a month or so for it to completely like heal like all the way. I'd just be cautious. Don't put any lotions. They do shave you, or they use like this like cream or whatever. They do shave you depending on where you're getting it at. They'll clean it off, they'll shave, and then eventually your hair starts growing back in that area. But it doesn't matter. Your tattoo will heal. Everything will be fine. It takes up to like maybe like a month to like 6 weeks to personally for me, for it to heal completely. So I feel like those are the most basic questions: is the pain, how much it costs, the healing process, and stuff like that. So now I want to get into my process and how I help myself as someone with crazy social anxiety, how I schedule an appointment. So for me personally, I like to Google tattoo shops near me, whatever, and then I find like a place that I'm like, okay, looks cool, I read the reviews, and if it passed, like if I get a good amount of good reviews, then I'll go on the actual web page and start looking for an artist. Usually in the reviews it'll be like, I went to so and so and they did a good job, or I went to so and so and they took too long. I read the reviews, I look for the quality and like any artists that they recommend. Once I go on the main page, then I find all the artists. They usually have like a section for the tattoo artist and the piercing artist. I found the artists that I like, I look through their portfolio, and then I find them on their social media. I personally recommend booking directly through them. I don't call the shop, I don't do anything to the shop, I book through them personally. I think that just makes it so much easier, less chaos, and 9 times out of 10 the shop is going to recommend that you book through them anyway. So I go find their Instagram or their Facebook, and they'll usually say email for questions of tattoos, no DMs, or they'll say DMs available for tattoos or whatever. So you can either email them or send them a direct message and explain to them what you want. So for me, I don't mind texting them, but when it comes to in real life, I get like super like, ooh. So I make sure I put all the information I want. I make sure everything is super clear. I'm not super formal, but I'm not like, hey girly, blah 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 blah, and like with like emojis and everything. But I'm usually like, hello, my name is da 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 da, I would like da da da, are you available da da da, and could I get an estimate? You know, I always book to them directly, and I explain everything I want before I get to the tattoo shop, so I have the least amount of interaction that I can have. After that, they'll usually be like, this is my estimate, and then if I don't like the estimate, I'll be like, I think I'm gonna go somewhere else. No thank you. Don't be afraid to change your mind. They'll usually explain their cancellation, or you can ask about that. So if you're feeling kind of iffy about the artist, if you're feeling kind of iffy about the design, you can cancel at any time. Just make sure to look at their cancellation process. Usually they'll ask for like a week in advance or a couple days in advance. After I find the person that I like, you know, I go through all the estimates and everything. We'll set a date, and then they'll usually ask for a deposit. I've never been a walk-in. I only book like in advance because it's too much chaos, like I said, anxiety, so I always book in advance. It's usually a deposit. A lot of the times they'll take either Cash App or you can bring it into the store. Cash, I usually go with cash because it's a lot easier. And then so once the deposit is booked, then you just wait for your time slot and you go in there. And biggest recommendation is speak up during this time. I know it sucks, but you are gonna regret getting something permanently put on your body that you don't like, when all you had to do was tell them, oh, can you switch it this way? Actually, I don't want that. Actually, can you add, like, it's okay to speak up during this time. You can change anything at any point of the session before the needle starts. After the needle starts, it's gonna be like, but anytime before that, change anything you want, say anything you want. I personally love booking with women. They just make me feel a lot more comfortable than men. This last girl who did my tattoo was absolutely amazing. She asked me questions every step of the way. She was like, this is the size, this is the font, this is the da-da-da. She has helped me every step of the way, and I absolutely adored her. Like I said, I personally enjoy booking with women more than men. Just speak up about what you want and how you want it. And if something looks crooked, don't act like you know more than you know, but make sure you speak up about what you want. They're going too fast, be like, hold on, let me look at this, let me look in the mirror. Make sure you look in the mirror before they'll put a stencil on. Make sure you look in the mirror before they start. So that's my biggest tip once you actually get into the tattoo shop, is to that time when they're putting the stencil on or they're making the stencil. Anytime before that tattoo needle starts, put in all your requests. Make sure you see it. Make sure if you want to text a picture to your friends, like, that is the time to do it, because after that you do not want to hate something that's permanently on your body. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. If there's anything else, I'll add it to the video in like little text, but I think that's about it for me. If you have anxiety, book beforehand. You're just gonna have to go out of your way to make the deposit, but like I said, you can Cash App it. That small window of time, make sure you put in all your requests. They do have tattoo numbing cream. I've never used that, so I can't really speak on it, but I think you should like raw dog it for your first tattoo. Personally, like I said, it really depends on your pain tolerance, But I think at least for your first tattoo, feel it, you know. If you absolutely cannot take pain but you really want a tattoo, get the tattoo numbing cream. That's really about it. Like I said, I love tattoos. Don't let anybody deter you from what you want to get, unless it's like a significant other's name or a butthole. Like, I just, you know, don't let anybody deter you from what you want to get. Want to get something, get it, and you'll be okay. But that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any more questions, put them in the comments below and I'll be willing to answer them. Like I said, any extra things I think of, I'll put them on the screen. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe and comment, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.